What is going on, everybody? This is episode 622 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today, we're going to talk about Georgia Southern. I said I was going to talk about, Atlanta Falcons when I first got into the desk, and I was going to get into some more Falcon stuff. But I got to acknowledge what my Georgia Southern Eagles are doing. They're doing a phenomenal job of upgrading facilities, and they're attracting some talent because of this. And overall, it is looking absolutely beautiful what they're doing with the football program. Now, there's other programs at Georgia Southern's doing very well. I mean, the golf program is doing good. We had a pretty good outing in track and field. The cheerleading program is doing great. Basketball is up and coming. We got a new coach. And also the women's basketball has just been doing phenomenal with their coach as well and the players that they were bringing in. So it is a really good time for Georgia Southern just to have just sports, athletics, and athletics in general. Shout out to AD Jared Binko. I need to find a way to meet this guy. I want to meet this guy and shake his hand for turning this program around. I mean, it was some ups and downs since we moved to the FBS, but he really has this this program, not just the football program, but the organization in general, the athletic program, in the right direction. So this is something that's going to have to be done this year, absolutely. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I am also on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I said this last week, and I don't know if you heard me, but I'm going to say it again. Stitcher is going away. So Stitcher will not be around in the coming months. I think in August it's going to go away. So if you're listening on Stitcher, I think it's going to move over to Pandora. If not, find your way over to Apple or Google or Spotify. Most of the time, that's pretty much like the most stable place to go when you catch into podcasts, because some people listen on YouTube and sometimes it takes a while to get to YouTube or Rumble. It just does its own thing. But nevertheless, if you want to find out things that don't make it to the show that I talk about, I can be found on Twitter at VFBaller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. Before I get into this, I want to say one more thing. Why is this show called First and Frame Rates? Well, initially, this show was a sports and gaming podcast, and basically, I'm a big gamer. If you can see behind me, and you can see both, if you're watching this on YouTube, you see behind me on both videos or both cameras, I collect a lot of video games, and I'm a huge advocate of video games. So that's what first is like, play on first downs, and frame rates is a term that we use in gaming. So that's basically how it works. I do have a gaming channel, which I'll have the link down in the description. You can check that out as well. And over there, I talk about the gaming side of what I do here. But let's just go ahead and get it into the show. So hopefully that didn't go too long. Georgia Southern, ever since, Jared Binko came in, I mean, we were up and coming a little bit prior to Jared Binko in. I mean, I cannot deny what Coach Chad Lunsford has done for the program, bouncing back after a few down seasons and winning 10 games, and just couldn't match that performance, going into the following seasons. And then after a few debacles and a few issues, Coach Chad Lunsford ended up moving on to another school. He's at Florida Atlantic now, but Coach Jared Binko wanted to make Coach Jared, but AD Jared Binko, Mr. Binko wanted to make some changes, and what he did, he made a huge splash. He ended up getting on the phone with Coach Clay Helton, and they started talking, and all of a sudden, Coach Clay Helton decided to take the coaching job here at Georgia Southern. And immediately you saw the difference. You saw what was going on here right away. Players started coming in. We had some transfers. The whole offense changed. The defense still was a work in progress, which I think that has changed this year. A lot of things have changed within 1 year. We went 3-9 the year before, and we jumped to a 6-7 season, which could have been easily, 7-6. It could have been 8-5. It could have been, it really could have been 9-4. There were just a couple of things that went our way, but I don't see those things that, I don't see that happening this year. I really see this team as actually improving to a much better status, but doubling your win totals in 1 year, and you're able to get the top recruits right away, and you go to a bowl game and you barely, lose that game. You should have won that game. It was, for all intents and purposes, based on the huge turnaround we had to go through from a spread option to a spread air raid in one season, doubling your win total was pretty cool. And what helps with this transition is the facilities. This is what helps when you start having things on the campus that really entice players. I haven't seen what the locker room looks like. I don't think there's not many photos out there, and I do have a few people who I can connect with, but I don't think I have that. I don't think I would be able to get those right away. But nevertheless, if you see the other things that they have out here, like you see this looks like the I want to say this is the film room, or this is the room where the kids get together and the coaches having the speeches or whatever. I don't know the name of the facility, but you look at it, this looks phenomenal. I don't think we had this I don't think we just got this together recently, and it looks beautiful. I mean, you look at something like this and you can just feel in the air with that blue tint, the blue tint lighting, and the big sign of Georgia Southern with the eagle in the middle, GS on both sides of the wall, and pretty much every seat has the Georgia Southern eagle on it. It gives you some type of sense of being a part of something. And Georgia Southern, that's what something they've always been about, being a part of something. And what we have here is one of the few of many things that Georgia Southern has to entice kids to come to the school. And it just shows that we're serious. We're an established, football program that really are about winning football games and being successful, in all other aspects outside of football. You bring this environment, you're not just talking about football. You're talking about leadership. You're talking about professionalism. A lot of guys who go on to other things after football to be a professional. You just can't do that with certain facilities, but with facilities like this, you'll be able to. Now, this is just one of three things I want to show. This is the first thing that I wanted to show, and like I said, it looks beautiful. Now, when you look at the second picture, this is going to be a picture of Paulson Stadium. Now, they've done a lot of upgrades to the stadium as far as seating, a little bit of expansion, and the field. This field looks absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you've been to Paulson recently or have you been there in the last few years. I've been to about 4 or 5 games, in the last, 2-3 years, and you look at what this this field looked like, and you're just blown away. I mean, the end zone with the blue paint, it wasn't always like that. It was kind of like the opposite. It was green, mostly with blue and white writing over it. Now it looks more like, I'm going to be honest with you, it looks more like something that I will put together in NCAA football, but it looks legit. And you see the GATA on the sidelines. I mean, you look at Paulson Stadium, and if you've been around like I've been around Georgia Southern since the late 80s, early 90s. And you remember what Paulson Stadium used to look like compared to now. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. Prettiest little stadium in the country, and I still stand by that. I know that's a saying that is there, and I think everyone who's a Georgia Southern Eagle fan stands by it. But when you have this type of if you have these type of visuals and you get on that field, and if you ever been on the field, if you ever been to a situation to where you've actually been to a game, you feel the power of Paulson when you're there. When things are just on point and you got players that are willing to go all out and play at their highest level, we don't be beat. We pretty much can't be beat there. Now there are some times where we did fall short in a few games, and like I said, that just goes to a lack of discipline and not ready to go. But when we're on top of our game, we can't be beat. I think we have like one of the highest winning percentages at a home stadium in the country. I think we're like at 72 or 73%. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that is a very high winning percentage. And when you continuously upgrade the visuals so people could come and watch your games, when you have a spot for children to go play, when you have a spot where kids can slide down the hills, and or when you have areas where you can sit comfortably and watch the games, not even just with the outside seating, but the inside seating where you have luxury boxes, whatever, which they do have those type of seating there. It is a awesome thing to experience. If you haven't been to a Georgia Southern football game, I highly recommend it. It is one of the coolest places to go to, especially when they're playing like a ranked opponent, or when they're playing, Appalachian State or, any of those type of games or any Power 5 school, which we rarely get a Power 5 school at the, I don't think we ever had a Power 5 school come to Paulson in recent memory. But when you have one of those big type of games, you can feel like the crowd in the stadium, it shakes and it just feels different. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm really excited for the upcoming football season because you just look at this field. It's just an awesome look. Now, last but not least, this is a work in progress. What we're going to be talking about, it is the indoor practice facility. Yes, like right on the other side of the stadium, if you're coming in from 301, this is the new practice facility that's in progress. They're doing a phenomenal job of getting this thing together. It's supposed to be done sometime by, I think it's next year. And this is going to be where the kids are going to go practice, and they're going to have their areas where they can tailgate over here. It's going to be really neat. A lot of things aren't really ready yet, so it's not really be able to see in fruition or see the visuals of what they have. But this is just another way to get the kids, enticed to come to the school. Not only that you have weightlifting facilities, you have the other visuals that I showed you about the film room, and then you turn around and you have something like this, and with the stadium and everything. The campus itself is a beautiful campus. It's one of the most awesome campuses you can be on. I remember my time going to Georgia Southern, and I remember seeing, the campus and how beautiful it was. And when you have things like this that are upgrading, it's just going to be much more of an exciting time coming into 2024, 2025 and beyond. And already this is getting kids excited to commit to Georgia Southern. I mean, we don't have 2024 hard commits already in the bank, ready to come to the school and be a part of, this legacy that Coach Clay Helton and others are putting together. This coaching staff is looking great. The team is actually looking great. The players are coming together and making some things happen. So when you have all that's coming together, and then you turn around and you have, facilities that are being built, letting these guys know that, hey, we care about you guys. We care about the players. We want you to succeed. We want you to be better. We want you to do better. We want you to do right. And you have the facilities to match. It's very difficult for kids who are in the state of Georgia, particularly, or in the Southeast that are close in the, 90 to 100 mile radius of Georgia Southern, maybe even further, 250, 300 mile radius of Georgia Southern. It is very interesting. I mean, it's very enticing for them to, take a look at this school. And I just saw on Twitter, I think we got a 4-star recruit looking at this school, quarterback. It's really interesting when you look at things. I mean, and it's going to be really cool to see how that plays out, because it's all about how well we perform, how we conduct ourselves as a program, and how many significant wins we can get throughout the season, because that helps a lot. So it's a very exciting time at Georgia Southern. I can't wait to see how the game's going to start when we kick off. It's going to be really cool. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Georgia Southern football upgrading their facilities, and it's looking beautiful at the same time. I could be found on the YouTube and Rumble, also Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts. I already talked about the disclaimer on Stitcher, so check when it's going to be going down officially. I think it's like in August. I could be found on Twitter at VFBaller, and the website is firstandprimaries.com. I want to get up out of here, guys. I'm actually pretty excited about this. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.